It's time for the Alien Conspiracy Podcast. We are your hosts, Agent ETA,
Agent Ether,
Agent Kruger,
and Agent Anderson. Come along as we examine UFO sightings, conspiracies, and all things strange. You can follow the show on Twitter at AlienConPod. We also have an email address, alienconpod@protonmail.com. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Discord. Discord link in the description or on Facebook. This week's episode, The Bohemian Grove.
Oh boy.
And in honor of this week's episode, I went ahead and got the ingredients for a gin fizzy, because that's what they drink there, right? They wake up apparently every morning, instead of having like a Bloody Mary or whatever to get rid of their hangover, I suppose, they have gin fizzies. And I was sort of intrigued by this drink, and I wanted to partake of one. What it is basically a Tom Collins, which is basically soda water and lemon juice and gin, more or less, and egg whites.
I'm very hesitant about the egg whites.
I know, right? I've never had egg whites in a drink, but I'm about to.
Chug, take it to the head. I don't know. Yeah, that's the kind of drink like for me. I might have to just chug it instead of like sip it and actually like try to enjoy it. You know?
Yeah.
Because what if I like experience a little bit of that sliminess like from the egg white, man? I don't know if I could deal with that, dude.
Oh, you shake it up so it gets all foamy.
Oh,
yeah, it's foamy.
Yeah.
I don't like the foam either.
Little likes you.
You're so picky.
Foam?
What are you drinking over there?
Well, it's like, all right, so like one of the words, like, you know, sometimes people have words that bother them, right? Like for some people it's moist, you know, the word moist is like, they can't handle it for some reason. For me, it's the word frothy. I don't like it. I can't handle it. I don't like it.
Froth.
But I digress though. We're talking about the Bohemian Grove.
Yep. And I am currently mixing a drink. I decided to do it on air because it's such a weird drink. So I'm mixing it. Okay.
Very nice. Yeah. At least you're not like taking like a shot of like a raw egg just like straight up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that'd be just, this ain't Fear Factor, man.
Yeah, you're not a boxer. You're not getting ready for a training camp. What do you
you know?
Yeah.
Pretty sure
that
Rocky
texture
did that.
egg. Oh yeah,
What?
he did.
Pretty sure Rocky did that in his movie, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, for sure he did.
Even on his return fight or whatever his last fight, you know what I mean, in the Rocky series, he like started just sipping down a shitload.
Where is it that they have the Rocky statue right there? Is it Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, which is bananas because you have like a real legend from Philly, which would be Joe Frazier.
Oh, Joe Frazier. That's right. Yeah.
Where's his statue, man? Forget Rocky, man. It's just a movie.
Yeah, I agree with Bill Burr.
Yeah. Is that what Bill Burr said?
Yeah. Yeah. He had a comedy bit about that where he actually, I think it was like kind of a legendary like act that he did there. It was at a live show, and like it was right in that area, and like he pissed off the crowd. Like, well, the crowd was already pissed off when he got out there. I guess it was just like a really toxic freaking environment there. And like he decided to use like everybody's like sports leanings like to his advantage. So he started like pitting the crowd against each other, you know. And I don't remember like the specifics, but that was like part of the bit was you know, he started talking shit, and like he's like, you got a statue of freaking, you know, Rocky, a fictional freaking boxing character. But, you know, Joe Frazier, you don't have a statue of him? Like a real life hero, you know?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
All right, so I was reading about a former employee.
Sorry, it says to shake it.
I was reading about a former employee, and he claims that once a drunk patron stood up to toast about 1,000 people in the Grove about how they were the elite, the luckiest, the most privileged people in the world. And he said it was in a very fuck you, yeah, we rule kind of a way. Definitely not a...
That doesn't really surprise me.
No,
you know?
No, it's not surprising.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, what was kind of surprising... You piss excellent?
Yeah. I didn't complete it. Sorry. I hit the fucking thing on the side.
That stopped me dead in my tracks.
I pick.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I piss excellence and shit gold.
I like it. I like the confidence, in that statement.
All right. That's what I would say. And then get immediately thrown out.
It probably has been said at the Bohemia, the Grove, I guess it's called, right? Like, because the society that controls it is called the Bohemian Society, but the place, the actual location we're talking about is called the Grove. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a club in San Francisco that owns the Grove.
Yeah.
In oh man.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to
what's
try
interesting
this
is
drink.
the town that it's behind. Oh yeah.
What's that?
Hit up the frothy fizziness.
Okay,
Oh, how
you know
dare
what?
you.
It's okay.
I made one for Ether. I'm making one for myself now.
It's a very interesting looking drink.
Froth got stuck in it. Did you hear that?
I should have never even said anything about it.
Froth you, okay?
I was having a moment like I was like letting you guys into the inner depths of my soul.
Bad move.
I let myself be vulnerable, and then you guys just took it and pissed on it.
You fucked up. You trust us.
Frothy piss. And that's the worst kind.
It is.
Ugh.
You should probably go see the doctor if you're having that.
Or drink more water.
True enough.
I was kind of
Yeah,
scared, but this is okay.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Does it taste lemony or whatever?
It does.
You
It
said,
tastes very lemony.
I'm just making myself one.
one of the the motto of the Bohemian Grove or the Bohemian Club, whatever. What is it? It's weaving spiders come not here, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
to me seems a little hypocritical. Like maybe they mean it in a different way.
I know, right? Yeah,
It's like,
I feel you.
sure.
Okay,
Hey, no business
then.
here. Don't bring your business here. Hey, by the way, Bob, I want to pitch you something. Come here.
Yeah. Hey, I got a plan that's going to make the military-industrial complex a whole shit fuck of money.
Well, the funny thing is, it's from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a
yeah.
popular comedy. But in the scene, it's really negative. It forecasts like this horrid dream that Titania is about to have with these fairies. Like, it has nothing to do with the motto of the Bohemian Grove. I think they just liked the line.
Well, and I think it kind of ties into the whole, one of the central themes of the Bohemian Grove is this performative aspect. So I think it sort of ties into that more than anything. It may not mean much at all, or maybe it means everything. Who knows? Well, I'm sure we'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of performative aspects, so there's been a lot of tales of like cross-dressing and stuff like that, because supposedly
Don't do that.
sorry. Anyways, so like I don't know if it's still like this to this very day, but it's supposed to be like just a male only club.
It is. It is
supposed to be any
exclusively
females
male.
there.
Yeah.
So a lot
Damn.
like when they put on plays and stuff, like these males will dress up as females, and put on the whole dress and do the whole gag and the whole reel.
Sounds like my whole type of people.
Kind of like Monty
Which,
Python or something.
Former
Well,
employees have claimed that there is across the lake from the Bohemian Grove a whorehouse.
Oh, hot damn!
Uh-huh.
I bet that's a high end whorehouse.
I'm sure.
I saw on one forum, somebody posted anonymously saying that they actually rented a house and had 6 girls there to service the guests. But I mean, it was on the internet, so it was probably made up, right?
Sure.
Yeah, mine was on, I think it was QAnon, so not exactly,
Well,
Oh, no.
and there's, what's that little town next to the Grove?
I know, that's what I'm looking for right now. I fucking forget.
That's-
It's like it's corrupted with opioids and all the nasty stuff.
There's a bar
that
there
nasty
where
stuff.
supposedly, because I guess no women are allowed on the Grove. So, by the way, Ether, you're going to have to excuse yourself from this particular episode.
like the whole episode.
Yeah, the whole episode.
I can't even
No.
partake.
But
If you ever want to sneak in there, you better be a man.
I am a man. I don't know why there's confusion.
there's
I
a
mean, it
there's
all
a
depends on
bar.
what you identify as, right? I mean, right now at this very moment,
Self-identify,
I identify as your grace.
I identify as a peanut.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
But yeah, so there's apparently a bar in the town where it's like a real small town, and there's a bar there where all the ladies will go meet the dudes. And I was like, dude, I could just drive up there when the Grove is on.
Because the story's so lifelike, I can actually hear the drinks like rattling. It teleported me.
I'm shaking myself. No, like I could actually drive up to the Grove, and like when they're in season, I could go there in the evenings to that bar and see if it's true. Like if there are ladies picking up dudes. Like what if you went and you saw some like a Rockefeller or somebody really important there, you know, picking up prostitutes? It'd be the craziest thing, man. Like. Of course, they probably screen their guests, I imagine.
Hey, Bob, Jim, you nasty son of a bitch. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
You might even like overhear like the you know, a confirmation of like the coming like a Black Flag alien event, you know, that's going to change the world, you know what I mean, that they're planning from what I hear.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey.
At least that's what I always say.
You know, there are some women at the Grove, but they're employees. There's like this big lawsuit. And the Bohemian Grove tried to argue that the male gender is a bona fide occupational qualification. And the courts disagreed, but they are restricted to dining services and valet parking, which are some of the lowest jobs at the Grove. I don't know how many women are actually there, but there's some.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we'll hire a couple women.
Let's diversify.
Well, recently there's been more controversy, and you know, there's females on like the Sonoma Board of Supervisors and stuff, and they're like, well, this is you know, discriminatory towards women, so maybe we shouldn't be supplying security, because I guess they have the sheriff's department that comes up and they supply deputies and stuff in case something happens.
They definitely do.
Yeah, and then our tax dollars go towards you know, that.
Well, you know, that was actually like one really common thread that I noticed, like, because there's countless videos of like a random Joe or Joe Blow, whatever, trying to just walk up to like the front gate, or you know, trying to sneak in some way, shape, or form, and it seems like very fast every single time, like a sheriff department employee will show up. You know,
boom.
All right, I've finished my fizzy. I'm putting a picture on Discord, so. There, everybody can take a look if they want in my special alien mug.
Oh, nice.
I read there's a lot of protesters outside the Bohemian Grove, and I thought it was maybe because of this discriminatory women thing, but it's actually mostly conspiracy theorists who are protesting.
Yeah, there's actually a lady that used to, I don't know if she still does, but she used to run a whole group for that, but that's maybe a little too far afield, but there, yeah, it'd be fun too to go and check that out, because some years they have the protests right up front, and they do a counter ceremony to their to the ceremony. What is it? What do they call it? The cremation of care or whatever.
Care.
Yeah,
the cremation of care. Yeah.
But all right, so now that I'm done mixing my fizzy drinks, let's start a little bit at the beginning. So the Bohemian Grove it's a campground, I think we mentioned, owned by a club out of San Francisco, and it's in Sonoma County. There's the town, in Monte Rio. And like I said, this is pretty close to where I live. I live in Sonoma County. It's about a 40-minute drive from where I'm at, interestingly enough. So I could drive down there tonight and get kicked out if I wanted to.
Have you been there?
No.
Dude, you should do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's a little east of Healdsburg. West. It's west of Healdsburg. So it's like kind of in a remote area that...
Up in the woods.
Yeah, you're probably not going to go there, you know, unless you're going there, kind of thing.
The property's a large plot, though. It's over 2,700 acres.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
it didn't start out that big, but it is that big now.
Right. Yeah, and it has over, I forget the exact number, but something like 120 campgrounds around the entirety of it. And you have each group will be assigned to each person will be assigned to a campground, which is an individual group. Most of the campgrounds will have like cabins and a main building with a bar and stuff. So a lot of it's not like hardcore camping. It's like glamping or whatever they call it, where you're in the woods, but you have like this mini mansion you get to stay in, kind of a thing.
That is my idea of camping.
Yeah.
But they do get hardcore sometimes. I've heard reports actually of some of them having whipping posts that you can tie people up to. and make them
Oh, yeah.
make them feel all fucking naughty and saucy and stuff.
I didn't see those reports. That's
I
Well,
didn't read the orgy report.
oh, there's orgies. Come on, dude. orgies are on Wednesday.
The camps all have names like Hillbillies, Mandalay, Uplifters, Isle of Aves, Owl's Nest, Toyland, Lost Angels. They all have these creative names, and who knows what any of it means. But
My Toyland. Toyland.
Yeah,
like
that one kind of caught my attention. I was like, huh, that's interesting. But so, for example, the Hillbillies camp, that's where George Bush is assigned, apparently, or was. I don't know if he's still a member.
I know a lot of the people from that contingent is like they're like from around like the Texas area, right?
Yeah, from what I understand.
Oil barons and stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the camps or a lot of the groups are like have something to do with like a geographic type scenario or whatever.
Yeah. And I think, did we say it's a private club, right? Like it's invitation only? Did we mention that yet?
No, but it's expensive. It's invitation only, and then to get in, it's very expensive.
There's an extensive
$25,000 to get in,
Or
right?
if daddy's already a member and you're just born in the right family, right?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much how it all works, right?
Yeah, and if you're grandfathered in like that, also you're a part of that group. You're $25,000 is nothing. You know what I mean?
So apparently there's like a 30-year waiting list to get on. If you're connected and you're like the president's advisor or something, then you're in. You don't have to wait. But if you're just like an average billionaire or something, like nothing special, you probably have to wait a few years. In fact, there are people who wait and then die waiting because there's such a long waiting list to get into this place. And why does everybody want to get into this club? Why do you want to go camping? It's just camping, right? That's all that's happening there.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. So
they're just frolicking in the forest. Yes, and those are the noises that they make while frolicking, of course, because they are very drunk, and that has been admitted,
Oh yeah. So what we're basically talking about this is more than just the campgrounds themselves. We're specifically referring to an event that's a 2-week, give or take 2 weeks of camping in every July. And I think maybe the last couple of years they may not have had it because there've been like a lot of fires and a lot of COVID and stuff. So it's, not a good look. But, sort of like what Newsom going to French Laundry, it's just not a good look, So yeah. I don't think they've had it the last couple of years. But normally when, the whole state's not on fire, at least in the area or whatever, there's about 2,000 people, 2,000 of the world's most powerful men and their guests come to do various stuff. And it's all kind of secret and nobody really knows what's going on there. Except we kind of do because it's been infiltrated a couple of times. Probably most notably by, what's his name?
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. That's it. Yeah. Throw me out, Eddie.
You're not an intellectual. Come here, coward.
Yeah, he made a documentary, Dark
Turn in the
Secrets
fucking frog
Inside
today.
the Bohemian Grove.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How the hell did he infiltrate it? That's what I
know,
didn't
there's
get.
so much
So he
security and
claims-
stuff.
Well, so Alex Jones claims that basically there's like a kind of a swampy area off to the side of like the front gate, and he scooted on like he army crawled across like the swamp and stuff, and he came up next to this parking area, right, with these like trucks that were used like they were like the open trucks with seating and stuff that, like to ferry like the people there around, And so he says he jumped up on the truck there, and they actually asked him like who are you with, and he said that he was with those hillbillies or whatever, like the Texas group, because he already has that.
You coward! And then he jumped
Yeah.
off the fence.
Yeah. So I mean, he has the accent to support that, So I guess they believed him, and he I mean, long story short, very simple explanation. He hid behind a building for a couple hours until it got dark, and then he ventured out and witnessed. That's when he recorded that part of the cremation. What was it called?
The
cremation of care. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There you go. So so the video footage that people are going to be familiar with that he recorded with a hidden camera is of that very ritual, I guess you could say. I think that's a more appropriate term,
Yeah.
the cremation of care, and that scenery there, man, like that giant owl. Okay. So there's a 40-foot owl that is like worshipped, kind of, I guess you could say. Right. And then there's a big black altar in front of it. And, I don't like this whole process, like what was like, described, and also what you can see on the footage. Like it's pretty damn weird. Like, and especially if you're like looking at it without any context, any perspective, like you don't know anything about it. You're like, what the holy hell is this about?
It's just weird.
What the hell is this shit? Like, this is the worst Broadway production I've ever seen.
If you haven't seen a video of this, I highly recommend people check it out. If you can still find it, actually, because Alex Jones and his stuff has been deplatformed from most places, so it might be hard to find.
Yeah. But it's surprising. Yeah, I don't believe it's on YouTube.
It is actually. Is it? Yeah, the whole hour footage or whatnot, you can see it. It's raw in its entirety.
Oh, I did not know that.
But the thing is that it's strewed in the comments is that they say that when they actively searched for the video, they could not find it. I just so happenly went through a series of links on Reddit, but like it is odd that, people say they plug it in and it doesn't pop up. It did pop up for me. So maybe at one point in time when YouTube was getting their shit together, or, whatever the hell they do. But you can go check it out. It is an interesting watch.
Put it in Discord.
That's not where I watched it. I found some random website that had it posted. But you know what though? I mean, I don't know. It could have been no. It didn't link to YouTube. I would have noticed that.
I couldn't find it on YouTube.
All right.
What and there's been, I don't know, like just like a randomly related, I guess, there was videos I remember when 9/11 happened, in the first couple of years after. I remember watching very specific videos that I have searched for afterwards, and they were definitely like cleared off the internet. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't find them any damn where, But I mean, there's definitely an effort in certain situations, I think, for sure, to remove information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually weird. It's not popping up for me anymore. But if on my phone it says it has 3.8 million views, is posted 11 years ago. Bohemian Grove, and then Alex Jones. But I'm posting it right now.
Yeah, and the video shows like these robed figures and chanting, and it's really creepy, really creepy. It kind of looks like something out of like a movie,
and there's like an inside joke or it's when you're part of you go to a play or something, Fan of the Opera, and like there'll be something that happens on stage that you'll hear the crowd react to and laugh and like get some sort of something from it, but you're sitting there going like, what the hell? What? It went right over my head most of the time. But in that video, it's like you hear people reacting to like the performers and everything like that, and you can hear a sense of like glee and jubilee. Like it's just weird. It's I'm just waiting for somebody to start like leading the chant, "Hail Satan!"
Yeah,
like, it'd be
Rosemary Baby.
It would be Hail Baphomet, I think.
That
so if you listen to Alex Jones, it'd be Moloch. But let's back up just a little bit. The club itself was founded. This might be a little dry for some people, but I found the history of the club to be completely fascinating because it started off, was not for the rich and powerful originally. It was founded in 1872, and the original members were journalists, artists, and musicians. Then they let the businessmen in, and shit got weird. But at first, it was just for basically journalists. They rented a clubhouse in San Francisco, a place for them to kind of kick back after work and just kind of hang out. And then more and more people started to join, and they kind of wanted it to be for like artists and stuff. But then they started letting businessmen in, and once more and more businessmen came in, over time they sort of took the club over. And now
it seems like the money took over. Like it originally started with like. It seems to me like if that story is true, which it seems to be, I mean, what do we know? But anyways, it seems like they wanted a good, environment for free expression of ideals,
Right.
And then,
Yeah. Imagine what happened was they're all sitting around the table and be like, hey, hey, Johnson wants in. We're like, oh, what does he play? Guitar? No. What does he paint? No, he doesn't do shit. Well, what's he do? He's got like,
he has a lot of money.
yeah, he's got like $10 million and he can like buy us stuff, you know? He says he's going to donate like, you know, like $100K if we let him in our club. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna replace the countertops in the bar with granite.
Yeah.
Keep kissing his ass.
And he's also gonna put a backsplash
I guess
behind
we
too.
could let a
Like,
couple of rich dudes in. That won't hurt. You know, nothing. What could possibly go wrong?
yeah, right. No, yeah, that can only be good because it's you know, being able to rub shoulders with people who have influence and money is always a good thing, right?
So at the camp itself, I read it was really interesting because I guess they used to have like a central bar area, but that got shut down during Prohibition. And when that got shut down, it changed the dynamic to one where people would mingle a lot, to one where people would stay more at their individual encampments. So you got this system where these camps, these individual encampments, are sort of like a tiered system where there's like the good ones where like the super wealthy and influential people stay, and then there's like it goes down there, and like the one at the bottom would be where, yeah, you're kind of rich, you know, maybe you just started a .com and you made a few $1 million or something and you were able to weasel your way in here, but we're not going to let you talk to the Bushes or, you know, Kissinger. You don't get to go to that part of the camp, you know? So it's sort of interesting because it changed. Prohibition had this really profound effect on the dynamic of the camp that just sort of apparently just stuck with it. Like it never went back to the way it was, even after they brought back alcohol, which was, I don't know, that's maybe not super important, but then again, maybe it is. I don't know.
Boy, was Prohibition a bad idea.
Yeah. that shit went south.
Oh, boy, did
Talk
it.
about blowing up in your face.
Yeah. And over the years, it seems like it became more and more conservative, and that it's seems to be mostly conservatives are members. Like apparently every Republican president since like the 30s or something was a member before they were president, you know, and some of the more prominent ones you might be familiar with from more recentish, be like Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. But
yeah, well, Bill Clinton supposedly is a member too.
Nah, Bill Clinton's not going anywhere near there, dude. Are you kidding me?
Dude,
Ford was a member.
Yeah.
There was, yeah.
No, but let's think this through for a second there. It's a men's only club with no ladies. Even if he's a member, I'd be surprised if Clinton set foot anywhere near this place, right? There's no cigars. There's no sexually harassing your contacts in the media or whatever it is that he does, you know? He's going to have a miserable time.
Yeah. Remember how he said no businesses or spiders do not weave webs here or whatnot? I've always there was, I guess the exception was I'm sure you guys read about this already, was the Manhattan Project. I guess that was also formed there, right? I mean, Henry Kissinger was there. His kid was there. I mean, you had people. It's just, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. But it's kind of a strange thing because people say that nefarious stuff goes on here, and it does, I'm sure, business meetings and stuff. For example, one of the more famous ones that I found was when Nixon was running for president, he met Ronald Reagan there, and Reagan agreed to wait until 1980 to run to kind of step out of his way. So they sort of colluded in that as far as that goes. But the thing is too, though, is that would have happened anywhere. It didn't necessarily have to happen there. It might have been convenient to meet there for them. But I mean, that would have happened whether or not it happened at the Grove, right? So I don't know. Like, I
don't know. Maybe there was a lot of alcohol involved. So
there was.
Right.
There was a lot of alcohol
it
involved.
wouldn't have happened outside of the Grove.
Like one of my favorite Nixon quotes of all time is actually about the Bohemian Grove.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to say the whole thing, but I'll allude to it.
Yeah.
And what is it? It was part of one, like some of those recordings, because like Nixon famously recorded like all sorts of conversations and stuff, and those recordings were released. So in 1971, he said, "The Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time," there's a little pause, "is the most, I'll just spell it out, FAGGY, goddamn thing you could ever imagine."
Yeah.
with that San Francisco crowd.
Yeah.
End quote.
Yeah.
Now that's Nixon's quote, not mine.
But you have to ask
Right.
yourself, if that was his quote. He said that. Why did he keep going? Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. he didn't stop.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
and he even admitted,
Knew
like,
what he was doing.
some,
Like the
I go from,
rituals.
The closet
go-
is made out of many different woods.
that is very true.
He came for the cremation of care ceremony and stayed for the cigarettes, right? Is that how it goes? But one of the things I looked up was what is a bohemian? What does that mean, right? So bohemianism is the practice of an unconventional lifestyle, often in the company of like-minded people and with few permanent ties. It involves musical, artistic, literary, or spiritual pursuits. In this context, bohemians may be wanderers, adventurers, or vagabonds. They were associated with unorthodox or anti-establishment political or social viewpoints, which often were expressed through free love, frugality, and in some cases, simple living, van-dwelling, or voluntary poverty. A more economically
so what you're
privileged,
saying-
yeah.
What you're saying is, like, as far as like the people that go there, these are the hippies of like the world. As far as like,
Right.
like the people who hold control, the politicians, and also the wealthy businessmen.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's why I found it so hilarious. So to paraphrase, bohemians are supposed to be more or less hippies, right? They're anti-establishment. They're poor. They're artistic. They probably don't shower that often or whatever. And you have
they don't value goods, like as far
exact
as, like,
opposite.
They come from Slab. They come from Slab City.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite. But the term itself emerged from France in the early 19th century when artists and creators began to concentrate in the lower rent, lower class Romani neighborhoods. So it has this association with the Romani people, or sometimes called gypsies, but I think that's a derogatory term and we're not supposed to say it anymore. We're supposed to call them Romanis.
what about Tyson Fury?
Does
He
he
called
say he's a
himself the
gypsy?
Gypsy Queen. I mean, wait, what did I say? Queen? Sorry, the Gypsy King.
Yeah, but I think that's like, like black comedians are allowed to say the N-word, but nobody else is, I think it's one of those things. So
Oh, is it?
he's Romani, so he can say that, but we can't.
Oh, okay,
And
I'm still a fan.
I'm pretty sure because I know this because I'm a big, massive nerd, and I have some Magic the Gathering cards from when I was younger, and they have a card. What is it, like something gypsies? I forget, Pradish gypsies or something like that. And they canceled that card because it has the word gypsy in it. So,
Cancel culture in the 90s.
yeah, no, this was recent.
Oh, okay.
It's a card, I think, from the late 90s or early 2000s, but I still have it. And when they canceled it, the value of the card shot way up. So I should probably sell that thing.
Lucky you.
Oh,
I know,
keep it,
right?
Keep it.
While we're on the topic, I have to mention another card that they canceled. I don't know if we've mentioned this. I feel like I've talked about this on the show before.
You've mentioned it to me.
Yeah. So they canceled a few cards, but the funniest one, well, funny to me, because I know in the context of the game, there's colors, right? There's 5 colors. There's white, black, red, blue, green. So black is evil, white is good, as you might expect. So the black cards, they're like zombies and vampires and undead and that kind of thing. The white cards, they're like, some of them are like Holy Crusaders, Paladin, and all that stuff. So there's a white card called Cleanse. In the card description, all the cards have a description saying what they do. It's destroy all black creatures. And if you're not familiar with the game, let's say you're a parent and you found this in your kid's collection, you might be horrified by this card, not knowing that they don't mean like black people. They mean like zombies and stuff. But the card doesn't say zombies and stuff. It just says black creatures. So anyways, that's just sort of a little bit of a tangent there. But, I found that just hilarious as somebody who used to play the game. And I actually have that card too, but it never occurred to me to interpret the card that way, because I never saw it that way. I just saw it as it's a white magic card that destroys cards from the black cards, like not like racial, but like evil, like evil and good kind of a thing. So it just tickled me that they interpreted it that way and they had to cancel it because Why not? They got to cancel anything. But hey, like
Yeah.
the Gypsies card that made the value go way up, so I should probably sell that thing now, right?
Hey, they made you money, right?
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
It's just collecting dust in my closet anyway, so what the heck. All right, where was I? So the term bohemian changed over time, and it became synonymous with the term newspaper writer sometime in the 1800s. Mark Twain, for example, considered himself a bohemian, probably just because it was like the cool and trendy thing to do. Like I'm a goth. Like in the 90s, everybody wanted to be a goth. Well, not everybody, just like, some people, or, grunge or whatever. Instead of grunge, it was bohemian. So everybody was a bohemian. It was a cool thing to do, I guess. But essentially, it meant something different in the United States than it did in Europe. And that's why these journalists, they're newspaper writers, that's why they called themselves the Bohemian Club, because it meant something completely different than what it originally did. And then eventually the term bohemian was again redefined to mean people who were outdoorsmen and had an appreciation of the arts, but weren't necessarily artists or musicians themselves. So we have this interesting, changing of the word over time. Which I'm not going to go on the South Park tangent for that one because it's probably not appropriate for this podcast. But it comes to mind. So I found an interesting quote from 1882. Oscar Wilde visited the club and said that he had never seen so many well-dressed, well-fed, business-looking bohemians, and I thought that was kind of funny. But it's sort of this kind of the slippery term that means different things to different people. Kruger was talking a little bit about some specific people who have been on the rosters over the years, people who are members. It's generally people like politicians, CEOs, people who run banks, multinationals, military contractors, oil companies, people on the Federal Reserve, and utility CEOs or commissioners or whatever, and people who are like not just the CEOs, but people also the muckety mucks, like the people who run those companies. And just a few people over time who've been just a couple of names. You can look up online. I found a couple of years somebody was able to smuggle out the guest list, and they posted like all 2,000 people who were there that year or whatever the number was. And obviously we can't go through all the names. And anyways, nobody's heard of most of these people anyways, even though they're rich. But a couple of the more prominent ones that kind of stick out are people like George H.W. Bush, Newt Gingrich, Archibald Clavering Gunter. Actually, I don't know who that is, but I liked the name, so I put it on here. Yeah.
Well, George Bush Sr. and Jr. there.
Yeah, both of them, yeah. Archibald Clavering Gunter. I like that one, so I put it on there. Randolph Hearst, Herbert Hoover, Henry Kissinger, Duncan McDuffie, Henry Morgan, George S. Nixon, who's a politician, Richard Nixon, David Packard, Teddy Roosevelt, Bob Weir, who's from the Grateful Dead, of all things, who apparently was assigned to the same camp as the Bushes, from what I understand, Norman Rockefeller, David Rockefeller, Merv Griffin, Dwight Eisenhower, and it's just people like that. The list goes on and on and on. Just the most powerful and influential people, not only in America, but actually some international powerful people as well get invited on as guests.
Often, yeah. It's funny too because like they do have quite a wide variety, of characters. In there, you have people that are actors. Sometimes you have a lot of people who are academics, that have displayed some sort of intelligence that they're interested in, like whoever is making these lists, of the annual, lemmings that they let in, as they probably look at it,
Yeah.
But it's funny though, because like, it's just like they definitely seem to have an interest in people who are thinking, to be very broad about it. But they also like they have a bunch of musicians and stuff that regularly attend, and they definitely seem to have their favorites because it seems like on a couple of these lists, like there are musicians that are there year to year, and they've obviously somebody's a fan of them, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, no, it's kind of confusing to me to be honest, like it does really seem like, in a way, at least, this is like, a way for these individuals to just kind of like let loose and have their summer, camp, like they're little kids almost.
Or, just they're a higher class. You know what I mean? We are the 1%, and you get to really rub elbows with the mucky mucks and all that good stuff.
The mucky mucks. Take me far away from the mucky mucks now.
I think that was a Grateful Dead song.
No, that was Jack Black, Wonder Boy.
GTA song.
Okay.
Yeah, Wonder Boy. Which actually, Wonder Boy is one of my favorite.
Wonder Boy.
Won't you? Well, how's it? Goddamn! I forget the name. The lyrics there. Damn, that's a good song though, man. But that reminds me also of one of my favorite MMA fighters of all time, Josh Thompson.
Wonder Boy.
Yes, Josh Thompson, Wonder Boy.
He is very athletic. Yeah,
he's
or
good.
Stephen Thompson, is it? God damn it. See, here's a problem right now with me and recalling information. Is I have fully embraced the spirit of the Bohemian Grove, and I have been getting more and more drunk as this podcast has been recorded. So, don't expect me to recall factual information and like look up that information and like expect it also to be accurate. You know what I mean?
This fizzy has gone straight to my head.
I believe it's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And there's
Stephen
also
Wonderboy.
There's also Josh Thompson, who's a completely different dude.
This is true. and he is also on a podcast with John McCarthy.
Yeah. Which
and
I don't know.
It's an okay podcast. Like they touch on things that I am interested in sometimes, but
all right. It's gonna sound stupid, but the reason I don't like John McCarthy is because his catchphrase, he stole it 100% and just added "come on" the end of it. Right? He stole it from Mills Lane.
Yeah.
Let's get it on. Come on. So does that mean?
Yeah.
If
Mills Lane is one of those granite characters in the boxing like history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as far as there's no other. As far as referees go, Mills Lane is number one, dude.
Yeah.
Numero uno.
So does that mean like if I get a job as a referee, I can steal Big John's catchphrase just by adding a "come on" in there somewhere? Like, come on, let's get it on. Come on.
Well, here's the thing. Did Mills Lane ever like trademark that?
Probably, but he probably doesn't care. But still, I was like, come on, Big John, come up with something original. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to out myself, but like, the intro to this show is kind of like inspired by Bruce Buffer. It's time for the. Now, I'm not just saying it's time.
Also,
and then again, the long pause.
You guys are forgetting Mills Lane, though. You mean he was
what?
Let's get it on.
Yeah. That's who we were just talking about, dude. What were you listening to?
Huh?
Also, that's kind of. I feel like that's kind of borrowing from Jimmy Lennon Jr., who says it's showtime. It's like he said it's time. Like, wait, you forgot a word there, buddy. It's supposed to be showtime. He did the announcing for Showtime Boxing. It's showtime.
He cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
He made it more simple,
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, dude.
Yeah.
The announcers that I dislike the most, and I just got to get this off. You can go ahead and edit this out.
All right, go. Get off your chest, ETA. Get off.
The ones like for instance like gosh darn it, he's an announcer for Bellator. I'm pretty sure is where he does a lot of his work. Like when an announcer asks the crowd anything, like if they make their statement like to where like the crowd needs to react to it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like for instance, like they'll say, "Are you ready?" and then they wait for the response. Don't do that, dude. What are you talking about? No, just get straight to the goddamn point. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry. Let's get back to the fucking Bohemian Grove, dude.
So like you were
and
just
the Russian
saying,
River.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, if you want some good wine, go buy a bottle of wine. If it says Sonoma County, Russian River area, that's your bottle right there, dude. It's good stuff. But anyways,
all kinds of beautiful minerals and stuff for those grapes to draw upon. You know what I mean? Well, not just that, but also the Russian River Brewery.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, of course, the Russian River Brewery, which is not on the Russian River, believe it or not.
No, but of course, anytime I ever hear that name, that's like one of the first things I think about.
Yeah, it's on 4th Street. It's not anywhere near the river. It's in downtown Santa Rosa. And they also have a location in what, let's we don't need to know about that. Let's get back to
You too and your fizzies.
So, like you were saying, it's sort of like just a frat party. I read an article from 1989 by a dude named Philip Weiss in a magazine called Spy. So basically,
he described it as a giant circle jerk.
Yeah, basically what he did
and
was...
also he used the phrase butt cake. I don't know what that means, but I heard it. I mean,
I read the whole article and I did not see the word butt cake in there anywhere.
I must have been thinking about something else I saw on the internet. Never mind.
What he did was he infiltrated the Grove using a very sophisticated method. He would just stroll in every morning wearing, like one of those fancy pants, sweaters, and a polo shirt, newspaper, and like a gin fizzy, and you just walk in and just pretend like he was supposed to be there, and they just kind of let him roll in, So
confidence can take you a long ways.
Yeah. So he went there for about a week, and what he describes sounds like an awful lot of fun, but it also doesn't sound like anything nefarious going on necessarily. And I have my favorite quote from this article, just because we got to talk about the P's. All right, guys, if we're talking about Bohemian Grove, got to talk about the PPs. So he wrote in his article, you're inside the Bohemian Grove when you come down a trail in the woods and hear piano music from amid a group of tents, and then round a bend to see a man with a beer in one hand and his penis in the other, urinating into the bushes. This is one of the most gloried ritual of the encampment, the freedom of the powerful men to pee wherever they like, a right the club has invoked when trying to fight government anti-sex discrimination efforts, and one curtailed only when it comes to a few popular redwoods just outside the dining circle. Tacked to one of these haplessly post-prodential trees is a sign conveying the fairy dust mixture of boyishness and courtliness that envelops the encampment. Gentlemen, please, no PP here.
I can tell you, like, as a man, like one of the most like free, like the freest I've ever felt was now I'm an avid off-roader, okay? And I've been in some beautiful areas while off-roading, and they truly are enchanting and beautiful, And to be able to just like whip your cock out and piss all over that beautiful area is truly uplifting. You know what I mean? It's one of the most like free experiences I've ever had in my life. I can't explain it, but it is what it is. Well, and there it is.
And apparently people just do this all over the damn place, and like they're not really that private about it. Just dicks everywhere, dude. Just all over the place. People half naked, people naked. I mean, men. I mean, what if like you just walking around the corner and you see, George Bush sitting there with his dick out, just pissing on a tree or something? Like, how crazy would that be? You know what I mean?
As soon as you round the corner, he just like turns his head toward you, makes eye contact with his cock out, and then he's like, "Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, and you ain't never gonna fool me again."
Or he's just sitting there with his hands behind his head, just going, just kind of stretching out, just having a good
leaning
pee.
back. Yeah, just like doing the whirly bird while he's peeing, like
pretty much.
Just getting it all over the place, like, whatever, dude. We're at the Bohemian Grove, man. I'm gonna piss everywhere right now. I don't care.
Well, and like I was thinking when I was researching for this topic, I was thinking, that women are trying to get in because of anti-discriminatory reasons, but I'm like, dude, I don't think ladies really want to go to this thing, If we're being honest here,
are you sure about that? Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like the politician and like the elites, like all right. So like, you ever heard that saying, right? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
Right.
Like that's their equivalent to that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously like a lot of stuff that happens there isn't talked about because as much as we know about the Bohemian Grove, there's not a whole lot really we know about the goings on. You know what I mean? Like we've heard rumors and stuff, but like, there's not really any footage or any real confirmation of some of these interesting things that may happen, during these 2 weeks, you know?
Well, we do have some employees have come out and said some things. We do have some documents that have gotten out. Like they have newsletters and various printing publications that they hand out to people. And these have sort of leaked out. So you can look at like, past years, like, I don't know, I forget the exact years, but some of them have come out with like these pamphlets that say
Yeah.
what the daily schedule is and what happened when and that kind of a thing, who the speakers were. Because they have, they have like a lakeside chat or whatever where some of the more prominent members will give a speech. And it's kind of strange because we talked about the ceremony, right? The cremation of care. Did we go into much detail on that?
Not really.
No.
No.
So first let's talk about that a little bit. So what that means is the word is used a little differently today. Back then when it was first done, like in the 1800s, early 1900s, the word care meant like anxiety or something, right? Worry or anxiety, as in the saying, not a care in the world. Today it's used, more like I care about this. So the definition of the word or the way it's commonly used has kind of changed. So back then, the ceremony, the cremation of care, the idea is to leave all the worldly cares and stresses behind. Like, oh, is Russia going to nuke us? Who gives a fuck? Let's not worry about that for 2 weeks, like that kind of a thing. But some people interpret it differently by outsiders. Insiders don't really talk about it that I could find. So what I mean by some people is, people on the outside, they think it's more of like burning care, like as in we care about the world, we're going to sacrifice that and burn that. So it's an interesting ritual. We talked about how creepy it was, but not necessarily the meaning behind it. But it's interesting because, like I just was talking about some of these lakeside chats, some of these are people like lobbying the politicians there to fund their particular program. Like one of the more prominent ones was like some general saying, we need the B-2 bomber, please fund it, kind of a thing. So it's interesting because while they have this ceremony and they have these ideas about what's supposed to happen at the camp, that is not what happens there at all. It's business as usual is what it appears to be, just business with a significantly more alcohol than usual, I should say. But
sounds about right.
Yeah. But it's kind of weird because like the idea behind the whole thing isn't necessarily what's followed through on. And you have to wonder, is this really like some kind of religious ceremony to them? Or is it just a play? Because they have, I think, 2 plays. One of them they call the low jinks play. The other's the high jinks play. And I think they're different every year. The low jinks being more of like a lowbrow comedy and the high jinks being more like highbrow, like, Shakespeare or whatever like that. And so throughout this whole thing, there's like this theme of sort of like theatrical performances and stuff. So I don't know how seriously you can take like, spiders weave not your webs here, or like the symbology of the owl or anything. Like reading a couple of these people who have infiltrated the area, it seems just kind of like a party, kind of like a frat house or something. And it doesn't seem like the people there take anything all that seriously. But again, it's hard to say. And that ceremony, if you go watch the video, is pretty dang creepy, to say the least.
And there's also to point out, I don't know how many were involved with the Skull and Crossbones Society, but there's a few members that were also coming from a different, not hangout spot, but different cult like, meetings and groups and shit like that. Help me here.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think the Bushes were in that society.
For sure, yeah. But wasn't Ford also in that?
Both of them.
I don't know. Actually, I haven't looked into that much. The only thing I know about the Skull and Crossbones is that stupid movie with that dude from Dawson's Creek. Oh, I forget what it's called. Maybe the movie's called Skull and Crossbones. I don't know. It was a dumb movie, and I forgot it because it was dumb. But yeah,
that's definitely that is definitely an episode unto itself, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But again, yeah, that's just sort of like a frat from as far as I know. I'm not sure that there's anything weird going on there, but I don't know.
There's like, for like, if you look up the Alex Jones video, he says even in the pamphlet they hand out and stuff like that, there's like hidden messages and all that good stuff. Like,
they're eating babies, Joe. They're eating the babies.
Well, I mean, yeah, right. And
Big
the
babies
frogs
are gay.
And then, but going, I mean, he got a up close personal look when he was in the swamp, right? When he was going Navy SEAL, trying to like sneak over.
Yeah. But the thing with Alex Jones is that's where a lot of the stuff around Bohemian Grove seems to come from Alex Jones. he's a very entertaining source, but I would not say he's a very credible source, you know?
Well, that's where he made a lot of his
course.
fame was
Yeah.
because of that, because he infiltrated the Bohemian Grove, you know?
Yeah, that was like his breakout role, or what, I don't know how you would term it, but yeah, that was his claim to fame, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was a really big day. That was a really big deal back in the day, because it was very secretive and nobody had ever gotten video out of that place. That was a big deal.
He was always like pseudo underground for me up until, in 2016 and all that good stuff when Trump was coming in. And then it just seemed like he got really pushed out there into the light.
So, I mean, looking into it, the more I looked into it, the less I was convinced that there was anything strange going on here. And it just seems like, a bunch of influential people just having a party. And if you think about it, dudes like Henry Kissinger and George Bush, either one, they can't go out to a bar in public and just like tear loose. They can't just go camping anywhere to your average campground and just have a nice pee in the outdoors. That life is not available to them. Now, I'm not saying, oh, poor these guys, they got it so rough, because they do have advantages with the amount of wealth that they have. But what I'm saying is there's certain things like just going camping on the weekend with your family that they cannot experience because of their influence and power. So that's, I think
they can't let loose.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of the exposure, you know, like
as much as I want to believe there's something strange going on here or something nefarious or even satanic, I just don't think there is, man. I think it's just a bunch of rich dudes just getting drunk and tearing loose. And like, I looked into,
I agree,
to the, what is it? Moloch or whatever. And like, that's what Alex Jones says. The owl is supposed to be Moloch, which is a real thing. That's like a Canaanite god or something that children were sacrificed to, but it's a bull. It's not an owl. I couldn't find any reference to him being an owl anywhere. You could say there's an association with Athena, who did have a rivalry with a spider, which ties into their, wicked spiders, whatever it was. But it's pretty.
They just don't like spiders.
It's pretty flimsy. I was not able to find anything solid outside of what Alex Jones said, and that was not solid. It seems to me just like a bunch of theatrics, just like old dudes reliving their old college frat days is essentially kind of where I got to on this one.
I don't know. I saw some stuff. Some people really think that those rituals where they have like an effigy that they burn.
Yeah.
And they think they're real people.
Oh yeah.
Or
there's
children
actual cadavers
that
or children.
that they're burning. So I think, part of the mysticism and satanic, sort of conspiracies are surrounding that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you worship Baphomet.
Baphomet.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Baklava. If you worship baklava.
Oh, baklava is delicious.
I mean Baphomet. Dude, baklava is one of the best fucking things ever.
Yeah, it is. I try not to eat that often because I don't want to get fatter. But
oh man, they had this package at Costco. It was like $20 for like 1 million pounds. Yeah, it had like all different kinds of flavor. It just oh my god.
Baklava is one of the best things ever. Like say for instance, you're going to a public, like a gathering, right? And like it's a potluck of sorts. Like, but you don't want to cook anything. You know what I mean? Like you want to bring a dessert. Baklava is golden. Like it's like it doesn't matter. Like
gold, chocolate gold.
Dude, baklava is fucking delicious. It's crispy. It's flaky. It's delicious. It has pistachios in it and honey. And I don't know how you can get much better than that. You know what I mean? Besides like my ribs. Like for instance, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but let me just go off on the side shoot right here. Toot fucking toot. Okay.
Toot it.
No, I this morning I woke up at 6 a.m. and started smoking some pork ribs, right? They were St. Louis cut. It's no big deal, you may like baby back, and baby back is great and all, but like it doesn't have the fat content and the meat content as like a good St. Louis cut. You know what I mean? St. Louis cut is thicker. You know what I mean? It has more meat to bestow upon your ass. So at any rate, I mean, like I said before, like I'm gonna go ahead and toot my own horn, man. I've won awards when it comes to barbecuing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I did a good job this morning. Yes, I did. And I blew everybody's socks off. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? It happened.
Hell yeah.
It happens. You know what I mean? Like we may have all been drunk, but
This just makes it
Wait,
better.
wait. This was in the morning.
it was about noon, right about noon. is
Okay,
when I
because
served.
you said in the morning.
Well, he started cooking them in the morning.
I think
He
he
had a
started
smoke in the-
drinking in the morning too.
Oh, well, that too.
Oh yes, I did.
That's all
yes,
part
I
of
did.
the majesty.
Oh no, I started drinking this morning. It's right now as we speak. It's 10:38 p.m. Yeah, no, I started drinking this morning. Yes, I did. And
Well, you had to get into the mood for Bohemian Grove. I mean, you got to experience it like they do, right?
well, here's that thing. I mean, I also had that kind of resolve. You know what I mean?
Did I mention?
If I set my mind towards partying like the whole goddamn day, and I have a plan, like I'm gonna persevere. I'll tell you that goddamn much.
Did I mention that guests are served a gin fizzy in the morning every day when they? I think I did mention that. Never mind.
Well, how
Jizz
else
busy?
better to, reanimate yourself? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you need that protein.
A
Yeah.
child. Oh wait, no, sorry.
Or
What?
you can sacrifice a
human
child.
flesh.
Center.
Bring me the cadaver.
I might edit that
All-
one out. Agent.
All I'm saying right now is if you want the best goddamn pork ribs you've ever had in your life, you might want to hire me. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
All
Yeah,
right.
Bohemian Grove. You hear him?
Well, we got to have a alien conspiracy cook-off sometime. That'd be awesome.
My son this
Oh,
morning was
dude,
actually
I'm-
talking about eating pork ribs. He's never had them before. And he asked me, he's
Why?
like, where can I get them around here? And I was like, dude, you live in like
Any store,
the North
yeah.
Bay. Like you
You
can
have
get
an uncle.
vegan ribs maybe. I was like, I don't know about pork ribs.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to like a Stater Brothers or Albertsons, or if you have a Costco around you,
Oh, sure. All right. Well, so let's get back to the Bohemian Grove. I mean, I guess that's pretty much all I had about it. I mean, there's some interesting stuff. There's a couple more infiltrations that I didn't talk about that I could have, but it's essentially the same story. People.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the Phantom Patriot. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if you got something on that, go for it.
I mean, it's not totally exciting. It's just a dude dressed up like, the Phantom Patriot with like a skull mask and came in with a crossbow. And like he was convinced that they were, up to no good, and he was going to burn the entire place down and cleanse the world of their evil ways.
And nobody was even there.
Yeah, no one got hurt. There was a small standoff, and he got arrested. So
Yeah.
it fizzled out. So yeah, I'm in agreement with Agent Anderson when it comes to. I think the elite, have to, or I don't want to call them the elite, but just people of prominent, popularity, or if they're the most hated person on the planet, they need a place to escape and feel like a normal human being. So
Hey, look
yeah,
at
it's basically a bunch of rich motherfuckers pulling it out and doing the Willy Bird.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, look at it this way, man. They got their fingers on the nuke buttons, like they got their finger on their button. Let them blow off some steam. Leave them
That's a lot
alone.
of stress.
Let
That's a
them
lot of stress, man.
Don't let the women in there. Okay, let them get away from their wives for a little bit. Blow off
that's why
some
it was
steam,
created.
and then just chill for a bit. And then when they go back to work, they're all refreshed. They don't want to hit that button as much, and we can all keep living our lives.
So it's basically
True
just an elite clubhouse where no girls are allowed.
Yeah, pretty
Just
much.
like.
Yeah, just like The Simpsons. Just
Or,
you know what I mean?
or Peter Griffin when he builds his pillow fort and just puts that little note. No girls allowed.
No. Yeah. Like just imagine if you were Bill Clinton,
Yeah, oh, dude.
and like
Oh, he hates that role.
and
That's not
like you
fair.
had the opportunity to embark upon an all male journey, where you don't necessarily rub your cocks together, but you might, like, there's
Well, how are you gonna get that and close that deal?
That's
You know what I mean?
never
You
off
gotta
the
rub
table. Never
well
off the table.
sometimes that's sometimes that's the only way to close a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to shake on it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up for this week's episode. Thanks for listening.
If you call it that.
Oh, good Lord. What a train wreck. I'm sorry, guys.
Welcome back.
I'm just kidding. but I guess but for me, that's all I had to say about Bohemian Grove. Agent Ether, did you have any theories or anything else to share with us?
I think I'm done talking.
You're done talking? All right. You're speechless.
I think there's going to be a lot of editing within this video.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I might keep you never know though. I might keep a lot of that in there.
In the Agent ETA's defense, though, that boy can cook. So
yeah,
he left.
I don't need no
left
defense
ribs behind, and oh god,
I don't know.
All right.
I don't need no
Satisfied.
defense. I have won awards when it comes to my cooking. So, and that's no joke. That's real deal Holyfield right there. You know.
All right. Well, I guess that about wraps it up for this week's episode. Unless you guys had anything, nobody else has got anything to say about the Bohemian Grove. You guys all
End it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
got
all right.
plenty to say, but I don't think it has any worth really. You know?
Okay. Thanks for listening. You can follow the show on Twitter at AlienConPod. We also have an email address, alienconpod@protonmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to check out our new Discord server. Come by and say hello to the agents. You can find the link on Facebook. Yeah. You forgot to say
I couldn't laughing.
okay, well go ahead now.
Keep it straight.
All right, there you go.